Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Erica Wilson, the host of It Had to Happen show. You knew that you had to turn to God because He's the only one that could get you out. Such a blessing to be able to sit with you, son.
You know, like in the isolation, sometimes we feel lonely or not being able to fit in, or this person is not going to bother with me or whatever. But that is the time when God says, "Be still."
Right.
And know that I am God. There you go. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm a single mom with 2 kids, struggling, rape victim, homeless, robbed at gunpoint. All those things had to happen to me to birth me for my purpose today. And that's why I'm standing here today giving back.
That to say this, it had to happen.
Good day, everyone. We are here live today at It Had to Happen with your girl, Erica Wilson. We have the beautiful Shannon Mason all the way from Dallas, Texas. She's going to be coming from a subject, Queen, adjust your crown and take off the backpack. Welcome, 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 beautiful.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I am awesome. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I cannot wait to get into this conversation. Got so much to share. Got so much to share.
Oh, yes. Guys, she's coming back for a second time. She was here before and she blessed so many souls. And guys, she's going to go into some more jewels today. So go ahead and get your pen, your paper, your notepad, your phone, whatever it is you need to take notes because she's going to drop some jewels on today. So Shannon, if you would, maybe we have some a new audience on the broadcast today. If you could just share a little bit about yourself really quick.
Mother of 5, founder, CEO of the sports company Evolve Sports, author, motivational speaker, wife, friend. That's kind of in a nutshell. Motivational speaker and follower of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Queen.
Thank you.
Can't leave that out. Queen.
That's
Now.
right.
Oh,
You
now.
definitely can't leave that queen out, guys. This is royalty to royalty talk. I get that from Shannon, and that's my Shannon voice. Royalty to royalty talk
Royalty
on
conversation.
today. Yes. Guys, she's going to tell you how to take off that backpack and adjust your crown. All right, Shannon, go ahead and let it rip.
Last week, or the last time I was on the show, we were talking about the weight of the crown, and so much has happened since then. God has really downloaded so much pertaining to that. We carry so much that our crown is tilting, and we don't realize that it's tilting. And so we're at a place where it's time to reposition the crown. But in order to reposition, we have to deal with some things, and we have to deal with the backpack that we carry. And what I realized is the backpack has so many different compartments. So many. You have for your books, you have for your pencils, for your keys, for your water. I mean, if you really look at the dynamics of a backpack, it has so many hidden compartments or hidden pockets. Even on the inside, there's hidden pockets. And so what happens is life hides itself in those places. And we did a teaching just last week with the kids where we were talking about subliminal messages, right? And even subliminal messages hide in there. So if we can really look at the backpack now as the backpack of our soul, it's really our soul, right? So in our soul, we hide so many things. We carry unforgiveness, doubt, fear, worry, bitterness, anger, rejection. I mean, we can go on and on. The list just can get long. And so we tuck those things, and it's basically carrying a backpack. You're carrying the weight of those things. And so I think we're in a time where we have to take it off, because if we don't, it'll kill you, because it's too heavy. Your body was never meant to carry those things. You know, your body was meant to carry the glory of God. And so we were designed and created to carry his glory, not designed and created to carry the weight of the world. And so we're at a time where we need to take that backpack off. We need to clean out our soul. We need to get rid of those things. We need to go in those compartments, those places that we don't want to clean out. We can't have clean. It's like a person who have clean their house. How do you do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll have clean the kitchen. It's so funny. My husband be getting on these kids around here. Like, they'll do the dishes, but these jokers won't wipe down the counter. And you're like, they go together. How do you wash the dishes, but you leave the island? They go together. It's in the kitchen, you know? Yeah. Or the trash goes, okay, we're saying kitchen. Everything goes together. Wipe down the counters, wipe down the refrigerator, put the food up, wash the dishes, and take the trash out. They go together. But these jokers will just do the dishes. And you'd be like, and the trash is still there, and the counter, are you serious? Oh, I didn't know. They go together. So that's how we are, right? God will be like, take this, empty this backpack, and you'll go, okay, I'm gonna empty half, but I'm gonna leave this compartment right here. It doesn't work. It's half undone. So we have to empty it completely out. And that's where we are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One may not understand, I may not know where you're coming from when you're saying empty the backpack. It's almost like clutter. You know, we want to fit
Yes.
everything. You know how we carry those big handbags and we just we pack those bags up, and then we be like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's so heavy. It's hurting my arm, this, that, and the other. But the thing is, it's like I guess the bigger the backpack, the more you have in there. So if you could just go ahead and kind of reiterate on um, that backpack situation and kind of break it down for them, that'll kind of like make it a little more plainer.
Well, it's funny because you were talking about the big purses, right? And I always laugh about my daughter because I have one. And when we go somewhere, she's always like, Mom, put my stuff in your purse. And I'll be like, girl, get your own purse, right? And so our purses or our backpack tends to carry other people's issues. And so when we talk about the backpack, we talk about life, right? Let's start as a child growing up, and if there was a trauma done to you, and so you packed it in, you held it, you never let it go. Then you carried it over into your teenage years, and then something else happened, and then you carry it into your adult years, and so your backpack turns into like a big duffel bag, and we're talking spiritually, right? So, but I want you to imagine putting a backpack on that's really heavy, like extremely heavy. College kids, when they go to school, they have everything in that backpack, and they're carrying around campus, and their classes can be from one end to the next. but the backpack is really heavy. But think of it spiritually. All those weights that we carry of our past and our disappointments, and then we just carry them on as we get older. And we instead of unpacking them and letting them go, or walking in forgiveness, then what we do is we just continue to carry it on into our adulthood. And so our backpack actually turns into a duffel bag spiritually. And so what happens is when life, that's why it's so heavy, it repositions us mentally. We're not, it causes, like if something triggers a situation, we're quick to snap. It causes us to become doubtful. It causes us to worry. It causes us to be like, God, you ain't moving fast enough. I'm gonna fix it myself. It causes us to make decisions that later on adds to our backpack because they were wrong decisions. And so when you look at it, you have to kind of sit down. If you can look at it like this, if you sit down and in the natural, you have your backpack in front of you and you start taking all your books out. And then you go in this compartment and you take all your keys out. And then you go in the next compartment, you take your pens out. You totally empty the backpack. And then you just set the backpack to the side. Well, in front of you, you have everything that was in there. And now you're looking at it like, now what do I do with this? Now you got to reorganize it. So I want to look at it like this spiritually. If you allow God to sit you down and say, okay, let's face this fear, take it out. This fear of being hurt again. Okay, put that right there. All right, go in the backpack. Now take out rejection. Put that right there. Okay, go in there and now take out the bitterness. Okay, go in there and take out the worry. And so you're sitting it in front of you and you're going, what do I do with this? And God's like, now give it to me. I needed you to take it out and then now put it before me. Now give it to me because you can't deal with this. Only I can. And this is what has been blocking you from being who God's called you to be. This is what's been blocking our relationship. This has been blocking me blessing you. This is what's been blocking your favor. This is what's been blocking for those that want to get married. This is what's been blocking the mate that I have for you. This is what's been blocking the promotion on your job. This is what's been blocking your destiny. And so I need it. That's what he's saying. Empty the backpack. Matter of fact, get rid of it. You don't need it. Don't put it on. Give me all of this so we can move forward. But the thing is, we've become so accustomed to carrying our backpack for so long. When you take it off, you're like, okay, I'm free, but man, you don't know how to adjust because you're so used. Like when you wear a crown will, in order to wear it, it repositions you to sit up, and you have this countenance, this demeanor, your whole posture change. But when you're wearing a backpack, you're like this. So when it's off, if you ever notice you'll go back to this again because you're so used to carrying it. You're like it kind of, it's almost like it permanently puts you in a humped over position, if you can say it like that. So you're so used to being rejected. You're so used to being let down. You're so used to your name being badgered and naysayers talking about you. You're so used to these things that even if God took the backpack off, it's like an imaginary, you're still carrying it. And it's not there, if that makes sense. So we have to get to a place where we're ready to be free. I think that's the best way to say it. You're ready to be free, that enough is enough. And you can't, nothing else and no one else matters. This is just a you and God situation. This is just I'm willing and ready to trust you with these issues in my life. I'm really and ready to trust you with the mistakes that I've made, that I've hidden in my backpack, that no one knows about. I'm ready to trust you with the hurt, the disappointment, the failures. I'm ready to trust you with the debt. I'm ready to trust you. I'm just ready to trust you. And in that's when you have to take it out, see it in front of you, and then go, God, here you go. This is yours. Because you can't do nothing with it. What can you do with it? You can't fix it. You can't tape it up. You can't, you can't do nothing with it because it's heavier than you. And so this is where we just go before God and as a king, as a father, as a judge, and say, and even walk in the place of all those things that have judged me. Now, God, I ask you to judge them. These things that have held me down in bondage, God, I ask you, I reverse it and ask you to take it. Those things that kept me from you, you got to give it to me. You got to take the backpack off. So,
About the college student backpack, right?
mm-hmm.
But last episode, you were on before, we spoke about the hiker's backpack,
Okay,
right?
now that's a whole
And
different
boy,
backpack.
exactly. So what I want to kind of do is throw a little twist in there. Shannon, we're dragging a little bit. We need to pep up our step.
Okay.
I'm hearing it in the spirit. We need to
Okay.
pep up our step. We need to give this our all because we're
Okay.
going to help some people on today.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what's going on with my AirPod right now, but all right, we're gonna go on and roll with it. But what I was saying is the hiker's backpack, and
Yes.
inside the hiker's backpack, I kind of want to say you spoke about the things that we carry on as as individuals, right? But what
Right.
about carrying
Whatever.
others? That's when the hiker's backpack come on. So my thing is, thank you, Holy Ghost. Let me address this comment really quick. Hi, Angela. Hi. How
Angela.
are you? Angela said you're speaking some good stuff. Wow, never
Thank
thought of
you.
it like that. Carrying all those burdens in a backpack. Thank you, God, for taking over the issues in the backpack.
That's
Yes,
right. That's right.
yes,
That's right.
and
Our
yes.
hikers,
You
yes.
know, I told you guys to get your pen and paper because she's definitely going to drop some jewels. Um, but yeah, Shannon, we got to step it up. We got to turn it up a notch. I started out a little heavy. I don't know if that carried over to you, but I
Okay.
hear God saying, let's turn it up.
Okay.
Let's turn it up. We don't have no time for that. The enemy has no place here at
That's right.
all
That's right.
whatsoever. So we're gonna
That's
pump
right.
this thing on up and take it to a whole nother notch. I just got a little extra wind in me, and Lord, I thank you.
Must have took
But
a
let's go
must take the backpack
ahead.
off. You
That's
must take some backpacks off.
it.
Plates off.
That's it. That's it. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about that hiker's backpack because now we're carrying our issues and others. So go ahead. Speak on
The
that.
hikers, you know what? The hiker's backpack is different.
Yeah.
It's because you have different backpacks, right? So we talk about the college, and that's for the young ones. But there's a hiker backpack that, if you ever see a hiker backpack, he has his tent, he has his pots and pans, he has robe, you name it, everything is in his backpack, and they're really big. They're really really big. And so, and on his backpack, he got stuff dangling on one side and the other side, and so it's not only just our issues, but it's other people's. You I've had God tell me sometimes when certain situation happened, he goes, Shannon, don't carry it. You don't know what happened. You weren't there. You don't know what they said. You can't get in it because it's a natural instinct to, when someone's going through, you want to be there, right? Especially if you're just a giver and you're just like, oh man, you just really want to be there. But sometimes what happens is we take on other people's issues, and we take on their weight. So that's like that hiker's backpack where he has the pot dangling on one side and the rope on the other side and the tit hanging out on one side. So we take on other people's issues. And
Mm,
so now not only are we bogged down with ours, now we're bogged down with theirs, because it's almost like a transfer in the spirits. Like they transferred their issues to us and we're carrying it. So while they sleep, we up at night worrying, thinking about it, frustrated about it. And
mhm.
and so we're really bogged down. And God never created. Again, it's kind of like with my daughter when I'm carrying my purse. She's like, Mom, can you put my keys in my purse? And I'm like, girl, get your own. Well, that's what happens. We take on other people's issues as if we're God and we can fix it. And we can't even fix our own. And so it's funny because if a hiker's backpack has a tent, we tend to live in it. We tend to live in that place. You know,
Wow.
that's why he has a backpack. He's a hiker. He has a tent. He has the blanket or the sleeping bag. He has the utensils to cook because he plans on camping. That's, you know, when they go hiking, especially when they want to go camping and stuff. So think about it like us. We do that to God. We're like, I'm gonna carry, not only am I gonna carry this backpack, but I'm gonna tent in it too. I'm gonna live in it. So I got my pots and pans, I got my blanket, I got my tent. I think I'm gonna be all right. And we live there. You guys, like, what are you doing? And the crazy thing about it is we live in a wilderness place. When you go hiking, it's a wilderness. So somewhere in our mind, we live there, but it's a wilderness place and we're by ourselves. And not only are we there, we have other people's issues with us while we're there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So my AirPod keep dropping out, guys. Okay. So now you have this hiker's backpack, right?
Yeah.
You have other people's issues, and your own. What about those boots that you wear to go hiking? You don't have on the hiker's backpack, but now you have this this these heavy
Hot
boots on
boots,
that you got
heavy
the
boots.
yeah the hiker's boot to be able to climb. So
Right.
um, I
You have
think
the whole
that's
you have the
really
whole outfit on.
yeah yes
You
yes
have the whole
yes
outfit on. You have the whole
uh-huh
you have all the equipment, not only on your back, but you're wearing the clothes. You got you got the camouflage. That's funny. The camouflage is like we hide from God. Like, really? Like, we gonna
uh-huh
camouflage and he can't see us. Right? So
right
God's like, are you serious? I can see you. I see you. I do see you. So we put on the camouflage as if, God, you can't see me. Or we put on the
wow
camouflage as if no one can see me. But how can we miss you with that big old backpack on you?
my
You see what I'm saying? So we're
yes
we're walking in this camouflage mentality with God, and God's like, but I see you. We're walking in this camouflage mentality day to day among people, but we're carrying this massive backpack that is noticeable because you're acting out, you're snapping at folks, or you 1 minute you up, next minute you're down, and so you're not
yes
camouflaged. So it's kind of like, who are you fooling?
uh-huh
Yeah.
okay now you said who are you fooling? Okay, thing is, say for instance, right, that person who's carrying that backpack, right?
Hmm.
And you're saying now the camouflage is it's not there anymore. I can see you because, like you said, 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. You're just totally snapping. But
Right.
see, one would I look at it as if maybe she's going or he's going through something. Let me try and reach out to see, what's going on. Or maybe just even offer a word of prayer. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Instead of making it about you saying, okay, well, um, I'm not talking to them anymore, or they're not reaching out to me anymore, or something somewhere along that line. But not knowing that that person who's carrying that backpack need help carrying that backpack. So come on, let's talk about that.
Well, you said something about needing help carry it. Actually, you have people. We did a demonstration with the kids because we were talking about the backpacks and the weight. And he's like 6'4", Chris. He's one of the young men that live here, and he was putting the backpack on, and it was heavy. I mean, he was struggling, y'all. He go, Ma, this is heavy, and I say, yeah, okay, now put this other one on. So what happens is he put it on by himself, but then when it was time to take it off, one of the other young men, because we were having like ministry time, he got up and he helped him take the backpack off, and I said, wow, look at that. I said, that's God wanting to help you take it off. So then my daughter was putting the backpack on, and she has a cast on her leg. And so she's limping a little bit, and she's trying to put this heavy backpack on. Well, Chris gets up and he helps her put it on. And I said, I said, look at that. I said, there's people in life that will help you put those weights on.
Mhm.
And it was like, wow. The thing is, we have to decide, we have to know who is there to help put the weights on or who is there to help take the weights off.
Come on.
Because you got some friends that will put the weights on. And the crazy thing about it is they're not big weights, right? They're not just gonna dump big weights on you. They may be putting little bit here and there on that side of the pocket, a little bit on that side. And before you know it, you're like, oh my God, wait, where did this come from? And that's when they hit you from the left and they hit you from the right and they said this about you. And you're like, wait, whoa, where did this come from? Right? Because they've been putting weights on you little by little. But then there's those friends who will say, no, baby, let me help you take these weights off. This is who you are. They will speak life into you. They will pray with you. They will cover you. They will say, no, don't carry that. And they will be led by God. They won't put the weights on. So you have to identify who's putting the weights on you and who's going to help you take the weights off. Because you got more people to put the weights on you than you do have to take it off, really.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, you said, okay, that's I put up there spiritual sisters, right?
Right.
And the one to say that, okay, well, let me go ahead and help her, get these weights up off of her, not add to it per se, So we did speak about the taking off the backpack, right?
Mhm.
But we have so many queens and kings out here that need their crown adjusting, right? So, do you have that sister or that brother that could go ahead and help you straighten that crown without one taking it the wrong way? Is basically like I'm just trying to help. I'm just a messenger, basically. So, how would you encourage someone who crown who sees someone crown need to be adjusted just a bit, maybe not much, but just a tad bit? What words of encouragement would you offer them to tell them? Because they may be battling with it because they may be saying, I don't know how the person's gonna take it. So what words would you tell them? What words of encouragement would you give to them in that case?
Well, it's kind of like with me and you. You know, first of all, when you meet somebody, you have to ask God, who are they? Because we all have an assignment. We're all important. When Jesus died, he died for all of us. It's just you have those who just kind of went left, but God loves them. He don't like the issue of the sin, but he loves them.
Correct.
He loves us all. Okay. So for me, it's like when I meet someone, I'm like, God, who are they in my life? And who are they to you? And it's like with me and you, I was just sitting one day and God said, tell her to take the backpack off. I was like, all right. At the time, that's the beginning of the backpack is when he started teaching me. And that's when I was like, all right, God, let me give her a phone call. And that's when I gave you that phone call. And I said, God said, take this backpack off. And you just broke, not knowing how much weight you have been carrying. But we have to be sensitive enough to hear God's voice because he does care. And we have to be vessels. Rulership is not, queens are not jealous or intimidated of each other because we have to understand we're from the kingdom of heaven. God is our king, right?
Mhm.
And we all have rulership in different spheres and different realms and different areas of our life. And so I don't have room to be intimidated by you or anybody else and you by me. We have a work to do. So if I see your crown is leaning, if I'm coming to you to help you reposition it, it's for the kingdom of heaven. It's like it's like a military. If you look at it like this, if you ever see movies or they taught in military when they're in battle and they say leave no man behind, and then you'll see them all if they see a guy wounded, and you'll see about 4 or 5 of them cause this formation, and they'll all start they'll gather around him to protect him. to bring him in, right? Like they don't just leave him
Mm-hmm.
there to keep getting shot up. They go in, they they sacrifice their own lives to go protect their man. They do. And so it's like, what about us? If my queen's crown is tilted and God said give her a word, or God said go, you know what, go over there today and just sit with her, then I'm helping reposition. That's that covering. It's like, all right, God, you
Correct.
sent me on an assignment to go and protect. I don't know what's going on with her. And it's not for me to go find out and say, ooh, girl, you need to. And if I was you, I would do this. And no,
Yes.
it's if God says sit, I'm just gonna sit, and
Mm-hmm.
be there. And so, but what we do is we get catty, and God's like,
Mm.
this is not royalty. We get catty with each other. Either you're jealous, or you want what they have, or you got something to say. And even down to the men, the our mouth. That's a whole nother subject. But listen, our words that come out of our mouth has power. You can either build a man or you can tear him down.
Yes, yes,
God
yes.
gave us that ability, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so when God created Eve, he created her to help build him, not tear him down. And he did not
Yes.
create her for a man to feel he's superior over her. It is life that we give to each other, and we speak to each other, and we build each other up with our words that come out of our mouth. It is the
Mm-hmm.
it is to give encouragement. So as a queen married to a king, if I see his crowns tilted, I'm a cover him. Baby, hold on, come on. You're a king. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're this. You're that. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
build him up. I'm not gonna kick him while he's down. That's
Correct.
that's crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
God would deal with me if I did vice versa. If you see me, my crown tilted, all right, queen, listen, baby, come on. You get it together. You're smarter than that. That's what God does with us. When we're down or we're going through, God goes, come here, baby. Come here, daughter. Come sit on dad. Come
Mm-hmm.
talk to daddy. Listen. And he covers us and he speaks life into us. And he wraps us in his arm and he protects us. That's him straightening up our crown,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have to
Mm-hmm.
be more sensitive to each other. We have to be
Yes.
more in tune as God leads us to be in tune. And then there's some God that said, don't touch it, don't go near it. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
I've had him tell me, I've had people go through something and God will say, don't pray. And I know people say that's crazy. So I say, listen, you don't know how many times I've sinned. You don't know what I've done. And you don't know what they've said to me. Leave it alone.
Mm.
And I'll be like, okay.
Jesus.
He's told me that. And because you're thinking, okay, God, I want to get in and I want to go pray. And some battles aren't yours.
Come
So
on.
if I'm going into war, I know if I
Uh,
see somebody hurt, right? Like if God said don't touch it because there's God's dealing with judgment on that situation. And I'm jumping up and
mm-hmm.
I'm like, I just gotta go. That's my sister and I gotta go. Whatever
Yes.
judgment's coming down the line on them, I'm gonna get hit with. I'm gonna get the
Come on.
crossfire. So if God
Mm-hmm.
said, don't touch it, who am I to touch it? I'm not God. Who am I to
Right.
go in there and be like, oh no, God, I gotta go pray. I gotta go do this. I gotta go. And God's like, okay. So whatever hand I'm gonna deal with them, you gonna get because you decide to join or co-sign or connect with what I told you don't connect with. I'm
My
I'm
God.
like I'm
So
like
I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me ask you this. Is that like kind of say for instance, if you had some saying no, when you're so used to saying yes all the time, the moment you say no, you're the worst person in the world. So what happens if maybe you know that it's a person in need,
mhm,
but like you said, God says no. Now, who am I going to listen to? Am I going to listen to God, or I'm going to go ahead and do that thing on my own? And sometimes we can intervene and God be telling us, like you said, don't touch that, because you can't save nobody. That's my job to do. You understand? So, but in the other person's eyes who, you told no to, they can't understand that. And I like to say I thank God for my nose back then, or I just didn't open up my mouth to ask anybody for anything. I just rode that thing to the bus out, you know. But I just feel if someone would have came and rescued me, I wouldn't have learned the lesson. So I get what you're saying when he say no, don't touch that. I mean, because sometimes you got to know when, not sometimes, all the time, you need to know when you're hearing from God and don't overstep what God says. Because like you said, now that blood is on your hand, you know? But at the end of the day, one have to know that, okay, Queen, if I'm coming to you to adjust your crown. It may be some things that you just don't want to hear, but I'm only telling you what thus says the Lord. I'm not telling you anything to hurt or harm you. You know, I'm just telling you what God told. I'm the messenger, basically. You know, and what happens if you have that queen, right?
Hmm.
That's not receptive of what you're saying to her, to take it and twist it and then attack you.
Well, in the Bible where it talks about when he sent out the apostles, right? And then if they
Hmm.
don't listen, it was saying something about, dust your feet, take back your peace, and you go on. So I believe in those situations, you can say, God, I did what you asked. And in that, was attacked. And so I believe you have the right to go to God because you were the messenger. It's no different than Moses. Moses went to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh did what he did. And so, but yet in the end, God wins. So I look at it as when you're going through a situation like that, you have the right to go to God and say, okay, God, listen, you told me to say this, this, and this. And in the enemy took truth and twisted it and turned it against me. So I'm coming to you in the courts of heaven as royalty because you are a king and you're my judge. So I'm coming to you as not only as your messenger, as your citizen of the kingdom of heaven, as your queen, as your daughter. Go down the list. I'm as your authorized agent. I'm coming to you and
Hmm.
asking you
Hmm.
for justice on this situation because
Hmm.
I was accused falsely of something, and I was just being obedient to what you told me to do.
Jesus.
And the enemy turned it. So now I need you to override this sentence or override
Hmm.
this case that's been made against me, and
Hmm.
I need justice. And the person that falsely accused me, I want to counteract it.
Come on.
You
My
counteract
God.
it. You judge, you judge those that judge me. You judge the judgment that came against me falsely. Now you judge.
Mm.
But if you don't
Wow.
understand, if you don't understand, or if we don't understand who we are in royalty, if we don't understand the weight of the crown and the power of the crown and the
Hmm.
authority of the crown, then we don't we just take anything. It's kind of like in the movie The Queen. There was a spot. They were on an airplane, and Queen Elizabeth had just became queen, and her husband. They were getting ready to get off the airplane, and one of the men stopped her husband and said, "The crown takes presidency." Other words is he couldn't get off at the same time with her. The crown took
Mm.
presidency. So if we understand our crown takes presidency because it comes because we come from a royal family,
Hmm.
then we have the right to go, okay, God, our crown takes presidency. We come
Mm.
before you in the courts of heaven. We need to talk.
Wow.
We come to, we got to take it to the king, to the judge.
That's it.
That's right.
Angela Bryan says, "Thank you, Jesus, for my crown." I know that's right. Shannon said, "Yes." I know that's right. I'm telling you, boy, that crown is valuable, y'all.
It's
It's
powerful.
valuable,
It's
and
very
that's
powerful.
why, yeah, yeah, and that's why the enemy, and it's on your head, and guess what? The enemy come to invade what? Your mind, because
Fine.
once he get in that mind, boy, he got you. Now that crown gonna go all kind of ways. You're gonna be ready to hold that head up because that crown gonna be shifting. Because now the enemy is throwing all type of things in there and causing that crown to shift a little. So that's
That's
why
right.
it's great to be connected connected to someone who hears from God. And like you did in that case that morning, you called me, and I'm like, okay, is she listening to my prayer? But no, that's just
Yeah,
a connection.
that was a powerful morning. But look at this. Watch this.
Yes.
I'm gonna show you something. When we're born, when a woman gives birth, what's the first thing she do after she reaches 10?
After
She
she what?
crowns. She crowns. Remember?
Um,
When a woman gives birth, what do they say
yeah.
she do? She crowns. So what I saw was, as a child coming through the canal of the mother, she crowns. So I look at it as they coming right, the crown's getting right. It's like right on top of their head. They coming right out with it. Like we were born royalty, right? Come on, who? That's amazing when you think of it, because you're like, she crowns. And when God showed me that, I was like, oh, you was getting the crown ready. So when you coming through the canal, boom, that crown's right there. It's spiritual. But because we don't understand that, we miss it. We go years and years and we go through so much. But now we're in a time where God is like, it's time for you to know who you are. It's time to take off the backpack. It's time to stand up. It's time to reposition yourself.
Sit
It's
up
time to
straight.
understand the power of that crown that you wear. It's time to understand your authority. Even down, you know what? This what is it? The scepter that she carried. Man, we could do a teaching on that. The
Girl, don't you
diamonds in the
start.
crown, the royalty. I mean, you have to look at
Yes.
the diamonds and there's 2,000 and something diamonds. It's her the jewels that is in that crown, the satin of the crown, the man, the structure, the design. Think about it spiritually. Think if we really understood the weight of that crown, understood God as the King and our authority and our power to speak and declare a thing, to go to the courts of heaven, to make and to get things overturned and ruled on our behalf, that the enemy has went. Because you guys have to understand, he was there with God. So he knows the lingo. He knows it. We just didn't. So in the natural, you have a law book. So you go to court and and the defense attorney says in section 345 it says blah 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 blah. Right?
3, 4, 5.
Don't
Yeah.
right.
Uh-huh.
What if we went to the courts and said, listen, in the kingdom of heaven book in Proverbs 3:2, 1, it says, what if we went back and counteract? What if we stood on the word like that? And so in the spiritual and said the same thing. God, your word says, for I'm the head and not to tell above beneath. Your word says in Jeremiah 29:11-14, for I know the plans that you have for me.
Yeah.
These are your words. These are your documents. These are your laws. So I'm standing here countering his. It has no power. Yours does.
My God.
Your word said no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Your word says by your stripes I was healed. Your word says these are your documentations. This is what you said. And not only did you say it, you sealed it and signed it in the blood of Jesus.
And
So it has a
signed it.
royal seal on it. That means this is what you said and you can't lie. So you have to go by what you said.
Come through. Mishka says, come through. That is so.
That's
I mean,
that
but
repositioning of the crown when you walk in that kind of authority and you say this and you
wow.
go to before the courts of heaven and say, listen, this is what you said.
Come on. So much confirmation. This was our scripture this morning, Jeremiah 29:11. One of my favorite scriptures, Angela. But guys, we are here live today at It Had to Happen with your girl Erica Wilson and the beautiful Shannon Mason, all the way from Dallas, Texas. Part 2 of Queen, adjust your crown and take off that backpack. Guys, we haven't even talked about the names of the backpacks. I know that's where we left off last time. And I see now that we have a couple of minutes left. But guys, if you would like to book, please do go to my website at www.ericawilsonih2h.com. Again, www.ericawilsonih2h.com. I would love to have you on the broadcast. But Shannon, Listen,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how deep you want to go with the names of the backpacks, but guys, we talked about the crown. You heard all about the crown. Now you need to know these backpacks and the names of them, just to kind of see if you can identify with any of them. So, Shannon, can you go ahead and drop a couple of juice? Get y'all pens and paper ready, guys. And here we go. Let's go, Shannon.
So the names is funny because we were talking about so the different names of the backpack. We have the sexual name, right? So you've got a sexual backpack. Those lust. So lust is a backpack.
Mm,
Depression is a backpack. And so this is the thing that I will tell you. If you go and Google the names of Satan, right, and then go Google the names of God. So when you Google, when I had the kids do it, we Googled the names of Satan, and it was like the Prince of the Air or something. It was different names, and I wish I would have brought them. And so then I said, now break down those names and what does those names mean? And so as they started to break down the different names, they were discovering like depression and just different, the Jezebel. So what does Jezebel mean? So, and I said, okay, so Satan has names too. I said, now go look up God's names. Jehovah Jireh,
wow.
El Elyon, Yeshua. Now break down what those mean, provider, love. And so when they saw that, they were like, wow. So those backpacks that we carry have the names of Satan, if you want to look at it like that. And under his name is the depression and bitterness and anger. And so they're all attached to each other. And that's what we
Mm,
carry around: debt, poverty, stress, worry. They're all they have names, right? And another way I say look at it is like this: landlord means ownership. Okay. And so when I
mm,
told the kids, I said, listen, I said, whoever's your landlord owns you. And they
Jesus.
said, oh, mom. I said, so who's your landlord? I said, either Satan's your landlord. So if he owns you, that means he has claim on you. He keeps you in poverty. He keeps you in debt. He keeps you in worry. He keeps you in fear. He has ownership. I said, now if God is your landlord, the Lord of your life, the ownership of your land is this, your temple. If he has ownership, then you walk in
Mhm,
peace, you walk in joy, you walk in prosperity, you walk in an
mhm,
inheritance, you walk in favor, you walk in glad. I mean, the list goes on. The question is, who's your
mhm,
landlord? Which, see, with God, you wear a crown. With Satan, you wear a backpack. He doesn't have a crown.
mm,
He only has weights. He has a backpack. There's
mm,
no crown he can give you. Because it's here. We're talking about a mental mindset. So either you're gonna be, as we would laugh and talk about the Texas weather, either you're gonna be bipolar or you're gonna be sound mind. You
oh boy,
take
yeah.
it or leave it. It's there's no middle. Either you're gonna walk in a bipolar mindset, bipolar
Mhm,
lifestyle, bipolar state of living, or you're gonna walk in a royalty, peaceful state of living. It's your choice. That's it. So the backpack has so many names. It has, and it has so many facets. Lust,
yeah.
bitterness, hatred. I mean, you name it, you design it however you want to design it. That's how Satan does it. It comes with a different style, different look.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm gonna throw a little twist on this because I don't want to give the enemy too much credit here.
right,
Because sometimes it's not even the enemy that's putting these things on us. It's self-sabotage. On our broadcast on Monday, the bishop says, break down the word enemy. Say it slow and let me hear you say it.
it's the enemy in me.
Haha,
Yeah,
enemy.
enemy in
So
me.
that's the thing. Exactly. So I don't want to sit here and kind of like give the enemy too much credit because sometimes it's our own self.
It's our own
So
self.
that's another backpack. You understand?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but at the same time too, one has to know um sometimes you can't blame everybody else. You can't blame the enemy or
Nope.
everybody else.
That's
Sometimes you
right.
have to take what you used to tell me, that book, you take the mask off,
Take the mask off.
take the
That's
mask off
right.
and look in the mirror. That's something that we all need to do. Not one, not two, we all
All.
need to do. You understand? But the thing is, we have to be very careful when we're adding weights to other people, because you never know what that person is carrying already. If that person is in a low place, or in a dark place, and you're adding weights to it, you just push that person overboard. And now we talk about got a suicide or something on your hand. That blood's gonna be on your hand. If someone is telling you that they're in a bad place or dark place, whatever, and you're not listening, you still want to throw jabs and add your weights on to them. Come on now, what are you thinking? Like you said, the Bible even speaks the same measure you're judged, you're going to be judged, you
Well,
know?
you have to.
So,
One thing I would say, because you're right. We are the enemy within us. But you remember the movie Spider-Man, where he became the host. I can't remember which season, which episode. I mean, which one came out. But anyway, it was called like the Venom. That's what it was. It was Venom. See,
mm,
what we have to understand is we the enemy within is like a host. We become a host either for God, or we become a host even for Satan of the world, right? So like you're right. It's the enemy. It's within. It's what are you housing? Who are you hosting? Is the
mhm,
question. So what I mean by that is when you become in the movie Spider-Man, because of his anger and his bitterness, he became a host for Venom. And when he realized what he was doing, in order to get free, there was a certain frequency. Watch, I'm gonna mess y'all up. Watch this. There was a certain frequency that released Venom off of him. And so when he realized what was going on, and he did not want to become that host anymore, he was tired of fighting with himself. He was tired of fighting with his disappointments, his issues. So he would put this pole around him. He put this pole around, and he hit the pole, and it made this piercing sound. And in it, the venom would separate itself from Parker, Spider-Man, right? So I said, "Wow, God, that's powerful." In order to deal with the enemy within, the sound that we have, the sound to break us free, is our worship.
yes, praise and
It's our
worship.
worship. Worship is that separates you from becoming a host for the enemy, because he cannot live there in a place of worship. It is piercing to him. It is frustrating to him. So in order to become free, in order to deal with the enemy within, you have to be able to go to a place of worship with God, to where you allow the love, you allow Holy Spirit, you allow the sounds of the heavens, the sounds of God to penetrate not only through you, but out of you. So you no longer become that host. You're no longer fighting with yourself. And when situations happen and you're like, nope, it's kind of like that arena of reasoning. When you're dealing with something and you're like, nope, I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to accept it. God, I worship
Mhm,
you. God, I adore you. I
yes,
magnify
God.
you. You my best friend. You my everything. You the love of my
Yes.
life. You're the love of my soul. Then next thing you know, that thing starts to separate from you, and it
Mm,
frees you. So the adjustment of the crown, the dealing with the enemy within, is a place of worship.
yes.
It's a piercing sound. It's piercing to the enemy. It's
Wow.
piercing. It separates you from him. It separates you to where you're no longer. It's like it's freedom. That's another way of taking
Mhm,
that backpack off. God, I worship you. I don't need this backpack. I give it to you. You're my everything.
yes.
It's just a place of intimacy that is
Wow.
just it's there's no words, man. I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Oh yeah, and that ties in with our broadcast, our prayer broadcast on Monday. We spoke about the thought process. What are your thoughts telling you? You have to learn how to cast those thoughts because, sometimes we go to overthinking things and it just causes so much turmoil. And I can't wait. Y'all heard it here on It Had to Happen. I can't wait to get in contact with Leandra Johnson so she can go ahead and sing the song Deliver Me. Oh
That's a
my
powerful
God.
song. That's a
Yes,
powerful song.
that's it.
I actually
That's
danced to that
it.
song. Yeah.
Did you really?
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh my God, let me tell
It's a
you,
powerful song.
I'm gonna meet her and she's gonna sing that song to me. Maybe she's even gonna sing it on this broadcast. I speak it
Come
now
on.
in the name of Jesus. Yes,
That's right.
Lord. But I'm telling you, sometimes we have to be delivered from ourselves. We don't like to admit it, but yes, we do. And I can speak about me. I don't know about nobody else, but I can speak about me. And like you say, when you get in that worship, it's gonna break you some things. But if you just lying dormant and idle, that's the time for the enemy to really play on you. You better
Like,
go ahead and open up that mouth. You better go ahead and start speaking those things that God spoke to you, because He's a God that shall not lie. You could tell God what He said. You understand? You could talk to that's our daddy. I could talk
mhm.
to him just like I'm talking to you. He already knows our heart. He knows every thought that we think of. So you might as well go ahead and keep it real anyway. But you know what, guys, you are here live today. It had to happen with your girl Erica Wilson and the beautiful Shannon Mason. Guys, we're on part 2 of Queen or King, Adjust Your Crown and Take Off the Backpack. I mean, guys, we are we're at 5:27, Shannon. 3 minutes we have left. But I tell you what, this is not your last time here on this broadcast because I know that you are filled full of word. And I know that you could come from any subject, but you're going to wait till you hear from the Lord before you bring it to me. I know that about you. I've been knowing you for a couple of years now. I thank you for
That's
being
right.
that spiritual sister. Know what I'm going through. Don't judge me when I'm going through. You be an
That's
ear
right.
for me. You don't judge me. You just really, you're one of those people that you do it in love.
That's right.
And I love that about you. Um, but I tell you that morning when I got that phone call and you was like, take that back off. I could do nothing but well. I
Oh
have
man, that was a
never, I
powerful
think
moment.
I screamed
Sure
so
did.
loud. And I'm like, oh my God, is this woman listening to my
Man,
prayer?
that was a powerful moment, y'all. That was
What?
a woo. All he said is tell her take the backpack off, and before I knew it, she hit the. You could hear her screaming, and I was like, whoa. And it was just, he just said just stay on the phone, and she just, man, and you saw the freedom after. You saw the freedom
Yes.
after when I seen her again. It was but you never, like you said, you never know what someone's going through, and you
Yes.
don't know if they're at their wits end of like I said, wanted to jump, wanted to give up, wanted to just,
Yes.
some people are at a place they just want to curse God. They're so hurt. But
Yes.
all he said was, tell her to take the backpack off. So all I called and said, listen, God told me to tell you to take the backpack off, and I'm telling you, it was just like, man, it was freedom, man. That's all I can say.
Yes. I'm
Powerful
tearing up
moment.
thinking about it. Yes, it was. And
Powerful moment.
yes, and I thank God for you being obedient, um, and making the phone call. And it was early too. I think it was like 6:30 in the morning. Yes,
Yep,
it was
it
early.
sure was.
I
And I'm
think I
like,
had
Jesus,
just
is she gonna read? Oh Lord, I gotta call her. And see, that's how God does it, right? Like he's like 6:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You were like, Jesus, really? These people sleep. But it was 6 something in the morning. I was like, God told me to tell you something. And I'm telling you, it's just, and even he had me hum a song, a tune that just ministered,
yes,
and you could just hear her wail and wail and wail. And so the wailing was so deep. It wasn't a wail and you're right. It was a whoosh. It was like God just came through the phone with he just jumped in and just went to the depth of that thing that she was carrying. And I'm telling you, he just said, stay there, listen, just she'll be all right. And I was like, okay. And I'm telling you,
Wow.
it was powerful. Man, it was powerful.
That
Yeah.
was a very powerful. I remember that. I'm telling you, like, I think that scream came all the way. I mean, that was my belly, my soul. It was
Yep.
everything. It
I'm
was
getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Yep.
yes. And I was telling
I'm
myself,
literally
thank
goose.
God, that the houses were far apart because somebody would have
They
thought
would have
somebody was
called
in
the
there.
police on you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
they'd have
loud
thought
it was.
somebody was in there trying to kill you. They really would have, because
Yes.
that's how it was. And that's when you know there's the freedom, right? Like that's when you know that's that true freedom, because there's such a wail. There's such a, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain. You get goosebumps thinking about it. But there's an exhale. There's a scream. A there's no words actually. You can't even
Mm,
describe it. It was powerful. It was
powerful
beyond powerful.
moment.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
have our beautiful Bishop's wife, Melissa Berry, on. She says that was your release. God
Yeah,
bless you, sis. She's another one
that
of my
was.
spiritual sisters. That's Bishop Berry's wife. I'm telling you, I've been connected to her for years now as well. Our sons played ball together at the University of Miami, and that's
Wow.
where the connection was made. And I thank God for the both of you because I'm telling you, just this morning I had to reach out to her. But at the end of the day, I just thank God for the people that God sent to me and know when they're hearing from God to reach out, because one may call and I'll just be like, I'm okay. But I know that something is
Hmm. Hmm.
wrong. And like I said, I can't express enough how much I am so very grateful that you called me that morning, because I was on the verge of just breaking. And I always say I'll bend, but I won't break. But boy, I tell you, it was heavy, and most of it wasn't even mine.
That's right. And I
It
didn't even know it.
wasn't.
I didn't.
Yes,
And that's the thing. You don't always have to know. I know we gotta go, but you don't always have to know what someone's going through, right? You just gotta be
Jesus.
obedient. All right. I didn't know what she was going through. I didn't know what she was going. I just used to say call and just say, this is what I want you to say. Now, what if I wouldn't have called? What if it would have caused you to lose your mind? And so
Mm,
you have to be sensitive. And I know we go through stuff because sometimes we feel like, well, what about us, God? But
yes.
watch this. In the helping someone else, God is actually helping you. He's getting
So
a
you said,
blessing to you out of your
my
obedience.
God.
So even though I was going through some things in my life at that time, but my obedience to call her was him getting something to me.
Mm,
We don't see it like that. So our obedience opens doors for us. But if I wouldn't have been obedient and I wouldn't have called, and I would have been like, she's fine, she's Erica. Because people tend to look at, okay, she's glamorous, she's got this lifestyle, and they don't know. And that's the thing. He
mhm.
also remembered that. He told me to share. It's like people look at you and they think you got it together, but they don't know when you close that door. And oh man, I'm telling you, it was just God was just there was so much other stuff he shared I can't share, but he went in there and he just went to the depth of that thing,
Yes, he
and
did.
he judged it, he dealt with it, and it was like enough. You've held her down enough. It's time to let her go.
Mm,
And I mean,
mm,
man, it was amazing. It was
my
amazing.
God. Y'all, I mean, you had to be there I mean, we can't even explain it how
Mhm.
it really was. But I'm telling you guys, I told y'all that we could go on and on and on. I know she's going to be back again. Shannon, whenever you're ready, do go to the website and book again. I know you have so much more to pour into the people, and we all need it. We all need it. There's someone out there that needs to hear, because how can you tell one how to get through something if you never went through it? So, everything that we go through is not just for us, it happened to us for other people. And that's what one has to understand. So never ever um I know it's hard when you're going through your trials and your tribulations, but just know that God is going to use that thing for you to bless somebody else. Cry if you have to, yell if you have to, but just don't break. Bend a little, but don't break. Queens, adjust those crowns. If you have another queen that's seated and she, want to kind of adjust your crown a little, take it in love.
That's
Take
right.
it in love. Take it in love from one queen to another. God bless you all. We thank you so very much for coming on in the broadcast. We love you all. And on Monday, guys, every Monday at 5:30, guys, every round has been going higher and higher and higher. But Monday, 5:30, meet us same place, but at 5:30. Guys, Shannon, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
It's an
so, so
honor.
much.
It's an honor.
Yes, I mean, that's just the connection. So we have to come back on again before the people because I see that so many are blessed by the comments that I'm seeing here. And I'm just feeling a little in my spirit. Angela, I want you to reach out to me. My email is E. No, hold on. It's not email. Hold on. Oh, I want you to reach out to this one. Erica at 88blessings.org. I want to pour into you. I want to bless you.
Amen.
Thank you, Holy Ghost. Angela, reach out to Erica at 88blessings.org. Again, Erica at 88blessings.org. Angela Bryant, if you're still on, reach out to Erica at 88blessings.org. Thank you all for tuning in to this broadcast. Thank you, Queen, for coming on.
It's an
And
honor.
guys, remember, if you have to get in the mirror and say it over and over and over, you are more than enough. I am enough. That was our affirmation on Monday. Let's carry that on for the rest of this week until we come back on Monday and get that new affirmation. Again, Queen, thank you again. Go on the website when you're ready to book. When God gives you that word that He wants you to bring back to the people. God bless you, Katima. God bless you, Melissa Berry. God bless you, Angela Mishka, Shannon Jaguar, Diva, Shanita Miller. God bless you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We love you. We love you. Until next time, bye bye.
Erica's Empowering Empire. 88 Blessings Soar Movement. It had to happen in a beauty so rare. We'd love for you to join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It had to happen with Erica Wilson. Following our social media.